In the 1960s, the Canadian psychologist Albert Bandura proposed yet another way in which animals and people could learn. To recap, classical conditioning is the association between biologically inherited behaviours and novel stimuli. Animals learn new behaviours through a process known as operant conditioning. Operant conditioning involves a level of trial and error learning. What Bandura demonstrated was that people and animals could learn through observing the actions of others, and that this reduces trial and error learning. The most simple form of social learning is allomimetic behaviour, also known as group coordinated behaviour. In this type of learning, there is an innate inclination to follow the lead of conspecifics. In this example, a herd of horses is following each other, matching pace, direction, and speed. As one horse tires, another will step up to lead the herd. Another type of social learning is known as local enhancement. In this type of learning, one horse directs the attention of another to a specific location. Mares use local enhancement to show foals where to find food, water, and shelter on the home range. Another type of social learning is known as stimulus enhancement. In stimulus enhancement, one horse learns the relationship between a stimulus and a response by observing the consequences of another's behaviour. In this example, Connor's learnt about the relationship between moving the lid and a food reward by observing Holly. Another type of social learning is known as imitation. In imitation, one animal copies exactly the actions of another. It was once thought that vices, or stereotypies as they are now called, could be developed through imitation. Research has shown, however, that horses don't learn through the process of imitation. Research with other animal species has shown that social learning can be influenced by the strength of the bonds between individuals or groups of animals. A sociogram can be used to measure the strength of the relationship between individual horses. In this example, I've plotted who grooms whom and how close each horse will stand to one another. Connor, who's on the left, has a really strong bond with Holly, the little chestnut filly. Connor's not inclined to be a flighty horse, and he's very confident when he's out on the trails. The strong bond between these two horses also means that Holly is inclined to take her cues from Connor. As you can see, this is an application of allomimetic behaviour. Out on the trails, Connor shows Holly where all the exits are, and this is an example of local enhancement. Finally, when we're out and about on the reserve, Connor's inclined to be pretty confident, and this shows Holly that there's nothing to be frightened of when she encounters a scary object. This is an example of stimulus enhancement. To summarise, social learning involves the transfer of information from a more experienced animal to a naive or novice animal. Social learning's also a continuum. Allomimetic behaviour is also known as group coordinated behaviour. Local enhancement directs a horse to a specific area or location, and in stimulus enhancement, one horse learns about the relationship between a stimulus and response by observing the actions or the consequences of another's behaviour. To date, there's no scientific research to suggest that horses learn through observation, imitation, or goal emulation social learning processes. Now, Pipey, I need a horse with a vice. How quickly can you develop a vice for me? What about head shaking? Could you do that? Head shaking? No. All right. Let's give Pipey a vice. Ready, Pipey? That's a good boy. That's a good one, Pipey. I need you to develop a voice. Lick, please, Pipey. Lick. Good boy. Good boy. Good. What a good pony you're licking. Lick. Away. Lick, Pipey. Good boy. Lick. Boy. Good boy, Pipey.